Hi, it's Bill Fields, and today I'm back with you to talk about how you can convert more seller appointments into good sellable listings. You know, I think the last time we talked about the importance of proper preparation to prevent poor performance on your listing presentation. So today we're going to talk about the actual consultation itself. Right? We've all agreed in the past that it's better to offer consultations and not focus on doing listing presentations. So today we're going to talk about how to have an appointment with the seller and have a successful consultation. So let's say we have an appointment and we always start out by arriving 5 minutes early, okay? And we're going to follow the 7 phases of a successful listing consultation. We're going to warm up, right? We're going to warm the people up. We're going to get them comfortable with us. We're going to do the consultation phase. That's where we're going to ask a lot of questions. Presentation of solution. That's where we're actually going to do our listing presentation. We're going to tell them the 10 reasons to choose us and the 10 reasons to choose our company. Then we'll go into establishing a realistic price. Then we're going to ask for the business, handle the questions and concerns, and only then and only after we've gotten their approval are we going to focus on conditioning the seller and the property to sell. So let's start with phase 1, the warm-up, okay? Folks, we're going to arrive early. We're going to preview the property with the sellers, right? We're going to ask them some questions as they're walking around. What made them buy? What would they change if they stayed? Don't ooh and ah too much, because then you only drive up the price in their mind. So we're there to just kind of warm the people up and get them comfortable with you. Take time to establish expert status. That means allowing them to be the expert on something other than real estate. Now, during the warm-up, we're going to eliminate any distractions. So if you're doing your consultation with the sellers in their home, we're going to turn off the television. We're actually going to ask them if they can send the kids to another room. Okay, that's part of our preparation, warming them up for a good consultation. Now we're going to sit down with them at the dining room table and we're going to sit on the same side, right? We're not going to sit across the table. It's going to be them and us together. And then we're going to move into phase 2, which is the consultation phase. And there's only one topic of conversation that goes on the consultation phase. And that's talking about them, not you. This is not a drag and brag about you. This is the time for you to be a good detective. You're supposed to discover facts, but you're also discovering feelings. And please, please make sure you take notes. I don't know how agents can expect to do a consultation and ask questions and not have some place to take notes. So make sure you focus on the primaries, you know, who, what, where, when, how. And always ask them if it's okay to ask. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, may I ask, why are you moving? How soon do you want to be moved? Is somebody helping you with your new home? What are you thinking of asking? Do you mind if I ask how you arrived at that figure? Okay, so we're going to ask a lot of questions during that consultation phase. And one of the questions we're going to be sure and ask them is, do you have any questions? Okay, do you have questions and concerns? Are there parts of this process that you want to make sure I cover? And then once we've done all of that, we're going to summarize all their needs and wants before we move into phase 3, which is the presentation of our solution to their needs, right? Also known as the listing presentation. Now, when we do that, we're going to start out by confirming the mutual goals, right? Our goal and their goal is to do what? Get the best price obtainable, do it in the least amount of time, and create the fewest problems for the seller. That's what all sellers want. So we want to make sure that they know, we know that's what their goals are. So now how are we going to accomplish that? How are we going to help them accomplish the goal of getting the most money in the least amount of time with the least amount of inconvenience? Well, there's only one way they can get the best price obtainable, isn't there? And that's to find the one buyer who's willing to pay them the most money for the property. Now, I didn't say, how do we get the seller their number? I said, how do we get them the most money? They can only get the most money if they sell. And how do we help them get the most money? By having a plan that's going to expose their property to the greatest number of potential buyers, thereby allowing them to get the best price obtainable. Now, this is where you're going to show them the 10 reasons why they should choose you. And you've got to focus on what's good for them. See, ladies and gentlemen, everything you say goes into one or two places in the seller's mind. Either into a place where they say, gee, that's good to me, or into a place where they say, so what? So we want to make sure everything goes into a place in their mind that's, gee, that's good for them, right? So we're going to state a fact, we're going to demonstrate the benefit, and then we're going to tie it down to get them to acknowledge they see the benefit. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, one of the reasons I feel I'm the most qualified agent to help you with the sale of your property is that I'm an expert negotiator. And what that means to you is, I'm explaining the benefit, what that means to you is when we find a buyer, I'm more qualified than other agents in the market in order to negotiate on your behalf to get you the most money. Here's the tie down. You do want the most money for the sale of this property, don't you? So I've stated a fact, I've demonstrated the benefit, and I've gotten them to acknowledge that they see the benefit in choosing me because I have that particular skill that they need. So we're going to offer them 10 specific reasons that are factually beneficial to them with a tie down. And once we've done that, we're going to move on to why our company is the best company. And we're going to present our 10 reasons for the company. Here's our marketing, here's our internet, but all of them are going to be based again on things that are good for the seller, not so what, and they're going to be presented in a fact, benefit, tie-down method so that the seller is acknowledging that they see the benefit of the 10 reasons why they should choose your company. Now, once we've done that, we'll lead into handling the proper price. And obviously, that's an entire different training session. We don't have time for it today, but you'll get it, believe me. But we will go from phase 3, demonstrating our plan for helping them, into phase 4, which is pricing. Now, real quickly, though, I will cover a few simple things about pricing in this session. First off, you got to remember the 3 most important words when talking to a seller are best price obtainable. See, our job is to actually get the property sold. It's not to list the property, right? So in order for them to get the best price obtainable, they have to sell it. So we use our CMA, that's our competitive market analysis, to demonstrate to a seller what their competition is and why the property needs to be priced based on what a qualified, knowledgeable, and willing buyer is paying for properties in their area. Okay? So we handle pricing, and then we move into the next phase, which is handling any objections that they have. Right? Any objections that they might have about moving forward with us, they need to think about it, they need to pray on it, they need to talk to their friend, they need to talk to each other. That's when we would handle those stalls and objections, I call them. Once we've effectively handled them, then we would move into our next phase. What is our next phase? That is asking for the business. You've got to have a means of wrapping your listing presentation up, closing your consultation, and asking them to go forward. I find it best if I just turn to the sellers and say, Mr. and Mrs. Sellers, do you have any more questions? Because they can only answer one of 2 things. Either yes, in which case I'll say, great, what are they? Let me answer those questions for you. Or no, in which case I say, great, if you'll okay the paperwork, I'll get started marketing your home. See, folks, you've got to have a way that's comfortable for you to ask for the business. If not, we allow fear to keep us from asking, and then they don't ask, and we end up leaving without an opportunity to go to work for these sellers. Now, once they've okayed the paperwork, then we go into the final stage, phase 7. That's where we're going to condition the seller and the property to sell. So now those lists of things I was making as I was walking around the property, the little things that buyers are going to make note of, now these are things I discuss with the seller. Now's the time to talk to them about painting and changing carpet, fixing those leaky faucets. Now it's time to talk about decluttering, depersonalize, and deodorizing the property. Now it's time to prepare the property to sell. Now you must also condition the sellers. You must talk to the sellers about being gone when the property is being shown. You must talk to them about making the property look model perfect every single day. You must condition them for the fact that the first offer will probably be the best offer. You must condition your sellers to prepare them to sell. Now, folks, those are the 7 phases of a successful listing consultation. I hope you'll incorporate them into your business. If you do, I know that you'll see lots and lots of new listings going up in the board with your name on them. So we're out of time for today, but I say thanks for being here. I look forward to being with you for our next video training tip.